Welcome to another edition of the Frenchitivity podcast. Kent and Michelle French back with you. This is part 2 of our journey through Thailand. And coming up on this podcast, we kick things off going to one of our favorite places, Elephant Hills.
Yeah, we're going to take you through our experience at an elephant sanctuary, tell you all the highlights, and hope to inspire you to want to visit as well.
So much to talk about there. We spent 2 great days. Then we went to Ao Nang. We will kind of give you a little behind the scenes of what we did there, including rock climbing for the very first time.
Yes.
Just yes.
Just yes.
And mind you, we're not going to give you any information now because we have a downloadable PDF.
We do. Visit us at Frenchitivity.com/Thailand-2. And we have all of the details inside should you want to visit these areas yourself. We'll include all of the information.
So come along with the journey. It's part 2 of our trip through Thailand. We hope you enjoy the podcast and we hope this conversation inspires you.
Spreading Frenchitivity all over the world. This entire family creating possibilities all over the world. Frenchitivity, Frenchitivity all over the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Frenchitivity podcast. Kent and Michelle French back with you as we continue our trip through Thailand. When we last left you, we were in Khao Sok and making our way east, right? East in Thailand to the northeast to the Khao Sok National Park.
Yes.
And our destination, Michelle, is a special one. And we need to make the distinction on this too, because this is one of, I believe, 2 places where we actually made a reservation because this one was very important to us. Why don't you let everybody know? I know they're in pins and needles. Where do they go next?
Yeah, we went to Elephant Hills Elephant Sanctuary, and it was, yes, exactly, one of the only other things that we had pre-booked and we were looking forward to and made it like a priority on our trip that we would see elephants. And when we were first talking about it, it was, definitely see elephants, learn about elephants, but then we didn't know what all the options might look like. And so this was a well-researched destination, Elephant Hills Sanctuary.
Yeah, and please know this, that as Michelle mentioned, it was well-researched, and we advise you, if you do go to Thailand and you want to have an elephant experience, that you do the research, because there are certainly a number of different elephant experiences, and many are dubbed sanctuaries, and that's not necessarily the case. What puts Elephant Hills aside, as you might be asking, is that there's no riding the elephants, and there's no hooks and spears that are used to get the elephants to go certain directions or do certain things. So those are certainly 3 of the distinctions that Elephant Hills kind of sets itself apart. But certainly there are several that do a tremendous job with elephants. So this was
ethical is, I think, the word we were always looking for.
Ethical was the word that we're looking for.
Ethical treatment, and being able to understand where elephants had actually come from and how they had come to be at the sanctuary. So an ethical experience, I think, is, wherever someone chooses to go. But we highly recommend Elephant Hills.
All right. So check this out. So we arrive at Elephant Hills, and for me personally, I got that Jurassic Park type of feeling.
Definitely,
right?
Yeah.
So you go there and it just kind of opens up. It's just really, it's a big resort. At least that's where you get dropped off
It's
at.
like 24 acres or something.
24
like
acres.
24 acres.
And the resort itself where people stay is 5 acres.
Yeah,
So,
a resort
yes. Well,
is, yes.
it's beautiful.
I mean, stunning, gorgeous, exactly what you want this
Yes.
to look and feel like. But resort might give the wrong visual. So it is a
let's dive into that for a moment.
It's a tent experience.
So at the resort area where
is it called a resort?
Well,
is that why you're saying that?
I think so. Well,
okay.
the particular area we were
I wouldn't
at,
use that word.
Probably not, but it's just large hardwood, beautiful structure.
Oh, so you're just talking about the reception hall.
The reception hall first.
Yes.
That's just the
the biggest lanai you've ever seen.
Beautiful. all indoor, outdoor, there's no doors. It's
gorgeous.
beautiful. That's where the dining takes place, the entertainment. We'll explain that later on, but that's where we get checked in.
Yes.
And we were whisked away to
Yeah.
our tent prior to our elephant experience,
Yes.
Michelle.
And it's like a semi-permanent tent, but it's a tent, like a canvas material tent, but it's permanently pitched.
Can we say glamping?
Yeah, I think we can say
Right? A little bit of
glamping.
glamping on this.
Yeah, though one of the best showers.
Yeah, right?
Warm water and a shower and a proper bathroom. So is that even glamping? I don't know. It might be more elevated than glamping, but like like a bed under the canopied tent and a separate cot for Everly, and and an attached bathroom, but like canvas
Yeah, there was a zipper to get in and out.
Yeah. I opened up the zipper and then there was like a hammock on our front.
That was awesome.
So we were chilling in the hammock.
Yeah.
But then it was time to go. Like we couldn't really, get too settled. So we began to get a little bit settled and just like fascinated of like, where are we? And this is so stunning. And then we were whisked back to the reception area because
we had to go see the elephants.
Yes.
We had a very specific time where we had to get on a bus and be whisked away, as we've been saying, to where all the elephants were. And Beam was our tour guide for the afternoon, and she was absolutely wonderful. So we got on the bus and she told us, kind of gave us a rundown of what we're going to be doing.
This particular property to
property.
go to Elephant Camp, which is very nearby, but it's not like in the residence. It's not in the
it's about like a
accommodations area.
15-minute drive. So it wasn't anything extensive by any means. But this is when it got really Jurassic Parky, if you will. Then we drive in and we park, and from a distance, it just opens up into this wide open sanctuary area, and you could start to see some of the elephants walking around. You're like, oh my gosh, and you could hear the gasps from the people on the bus. And so,
I mean, just more of a like natural habitat, if you will. Like perhaps many of us have been fortunate enough to see elephants in a ethical zoo somewhere in a zoo. But this was, and again, they are in a sanctuary, so they're being taken care of in a certain way, and they are in some sort of confines, but not really. They're just like elephants roaming around.
The property is massive, so it's not like they're in a cage, and they're not,
or even in a. I mean, there was like a fence, but not really.
Right. So yeah, it was beautiful. It's what you would imagine. It's what you would picture elephants to be in.
Yeah. And the coolest thing is like, oh, they're so curious. They're so cool. Like the bus kind of comes up, and one of the elephants that was just minding its own business, having its own private time, we start getting off the bus to go into more of like a corral kind of area where we're going to learn something. And the elephant starts coming towards the fence and walks with us like alongside the fence, like as we're getting in. So we're like, oh, hi. Like,
right. And
what's happening?
And we'll be referring to this throughout the course of this podcast. But once again, we did film all of this, and we have great pieces that we put together about our experience. So our picture, we're describing it to you, but you can certainly see it in video. And there is, again, I'm behind Michelle and Everly as I'm walking through, experiencing this through their eyes.
And then you
it's
can
wonderful.
hear the elephants in that too. What's very cool about that video is like you hear them doing
in your first interaction, the elephant comes over to the fence, to this wood fence, and leans over, and trunks come over, and you and Ev start kind of petting the trunk, and it was awesome. It was
so awesome.
Amazing. I mean, truly gentle giants. So as you did allude to, we walked into this kind of overhang type area where we get some education.
Yeah.
10 elephants.
But the elephants are already showing like personality. Like, so basically they had the elephants kind of along the perimeter of the fence of this corral with their handlers, which are
mahouts.
The mahouts, right?
Mahouts.
Which we'll talk about more in a second because that's really beautiful tradition. So they're all lined up, and you start seeing the personalities. Like one is dancing, like keeps putting its trunk over and is swaying back and forth and dancing. So we're all kind of like looking and giggling. And then some are a little more timid, and then some are just big personalities. And like, it's just so fascinating because they have personality, and you're watching that like unfold in front of you.
Yeah, 10 Asian elephants, ages from 19 to 81. Called the elephant, the grandma. Nokyu was the name of the elephant that was the grandma. And so Beam did a tremendous job introducing each of the elephants to us, giving their ages.
Yes.
And the
And like the distinctions, like
Mhm.
they all had a certain look
or a mark
or
or whatever it
something
may
on them, so
be.
you got to learn. And also educating us about Asian elephants so that we could understand the distinction, because there are African elephants, there are other elephants. And so making sure we understood, which I really already knew most of
Of
that,
course you
but
did.
it was a good educational opportunity to remind her or give even more insight, and certainly, teach us some of the things I didn't know.
So these elephants all come from the logging industry, is which we found out.
Yeah.
So they were there and to live out their lives in the best possible way.
And the history of elephants is kind of complicated in Thailand because they're elephants on, most of their national marks,
Huh?
and they've been a really important part of their history. But then, yes, then they were, used in logging and mistreated sometimes in certain ways. And so it's been a big redemption story there too, to now have ethical ways to take care of these elephants, to rescue them potentially from areas that they're not thriving in. So it's a beautiful history, but also has some hard things to understand and to learn. But now to know that they're being taken care of really well.
Yeah, and especially as we mentioned, and we're going to tell you in a moment, kind of another reason that Elephant Hills does such a tremendous job when it comes to ethics and putting elephants in the best possible position to be healthy and succeed. But we not only were educated on the elephants, distinction of the elephants, the markings, the names, the history of each elephant, but also we had an opportunity to feed
Oh my gosh.
these elephants
Yeah.
and prepare
Yeah.
their
And
food.
like they kind of know, right? So they're
Oh,
all
they know.
waiting, and like you think they're really excited to see you, which I still
No.
feel like it was us, but it was the food. So yeah, so the beam explains to us their diet, what they eat, what they have to make sure that they eat, because they have to be getting some nutrients and certain things that they may or may not be getting in nature anymore. They're free to eat and roam, but they may not be getting all their nutrients. So they make sure in their like health ball, their medicine ball.
Multivitamins and minerals mixed with rice bran and
It-
wrapped in a banana leaf
It's like a protein
to
bite, but
kind of
like
hide it
times
from them
100.
so they can't sense exactly what they're eating.
Yeah, you put salt on the top, right? We
Yes.
salted it and then wrap it so that
For the
they don't.
digestive system.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, so cool, so fun. So we're like making them a healthy snack. And there is footage of this too, of us like chopping up the ingredients and rolling it and putting the salt on it.
Yeah.
And it's
As
so
the
fun.
elephants are swaying and making noises
Dancing
and
and ready
dancing
to
and
eat.
knowing it's coming. So it was, we were going as quickly as we could. And then we had the
And they
bucket
get like
we filled up.
assigned an elephant to make
Mhm.
sure, because they need to make sure that each one of them, I think, got 2 of the right amount of protein in whatever it was. So you get a certain elephant that you feed that to, but then you're welcome to feed all the elephants with
Well, we're cutting up pineapples and bananas and sugarcane.
Sugarcane, yeah.
So we did all of that stuff, and it's fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, and some of these shots are just, as you
So
can
cool.
imagine, your 7-year-old daughter at the time, and these trunks are coming over, and the video is just the trunks coming into the shot, and Everly putting her hand out, and them just taking it right out of her
hand. Oh my
It was
gosh, it's
awesome.
so cool. And then
And
her
amazing.
experiencing what their trunks feel like. We never felt one before, right? It's a little bit prickly, like they have hair. Some of them it was more smooth, and they pick it up with their tongue in their trunk. Like it's a very interesting way that they feed themselves. It's very cool.
And we feel
Or
very
their little, like,
fortunate.
I shouldn't say their tongue, pardon me, their little fingers that are part of the end of their trunk to
Right.
put it into their mouth and their tongue.
Right. And we feel very fortunate we had a chance to feed the elephants, because as of 2026,
Yeah.
Elephant Hills has a new policy now where there's no hand feeding
Yeah.
the elephants, even
Correct.
that's now
Yeah.
anymore. So they've
Yeah.
taken it a step further to be even safer for these elephants.
So we're very grateful that we were able to experience that, because unfortunately fortunately for them being progressive, that's no longer an option. So we're very excited that we were able to be part of that.
And the Mahout, as Michelle alluded to earlier, is a cool story. And
So cool.
I've looked it up several different ways. We heard it when we were there, so I'm hoping I'm giving the right pronunciation to it. But these are basically their keepers, and they're with them 24/7, all waking hours.
Mhm.
They are with them and assisting these elephants.
24/7 is not all waking hours. 24/7. But
No,
they're-
I said
they are.
24, not 24/7, but all their waking hours. So it's
But I think it
impressive.
is like 18 hours a day. I
Yeah.
don't think that they leave them for long. And when they sleep, I do think they're still monitored. But they get to go out and forage a bit at night. And so they then are not under, they can't get out, but they are not under the same kind of watch as they are during the day.
They need their alone time.
They need their alone time. We all do.
Yeah.
But what's so cool is that it's generational.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it isn't just like you say, "Oh, I'd like to be a mahout." Like, it is
Part of the
passed.
family.
It's part of a family. It's passed along. It's generational. It's an honor. It's very cool and so dedicated. And so they were all like very kind and also were very clear when an elephant was unavailable for an interaction or
Mhm.
had too much stimulus or any reason just needed to be alone or step away, then the mahout was just, there to do it. And you watch how it happens really gracefully. So I just thought that was a beautiful
But you
relationship.
could see the interaction too between the mahout and the elephant.
Oh, yes. They like converse.
And
100% can understand each other.
They know each other. Exactly.
Absolutely.
The movements, whatever it is.
Totally.
And to your point, they know when it's time to take the elephant
And
away.
they have like language. I mean, they
Mhm.
have like hand motions that they'll do or words that they will say. I mean, they're they're bonded. They're very much bonded.
And so after the meal, then the elephants moved on, and if they want to take a bath, they're more than welcome to. And one did. One
Yeah.
partook into to a pond, and
roll around
they
in the
roll around
pond.
and spray up water and the whole bit. And so all of us were able to enjoy that. And then afterwards, went up and saw kind of a documentary on the elephants as well.
Yeah,
while we
and
were
I
there.
remembered something about that too. That like, so yes, we watched this documentary, and you could be on this balcony and watch them out in their landscape. But underneath, I was like, oh, what is all this set up down here? And they make paper out of.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot about
yeah.
that.
They make paper out of the elephant dung.
Yeah.
And it's this entire process, and the paper's really cool. And yeah, so that's part of the process as well. You can make paper from.
So we had this
that.
entire amazing experience with the elephants, but we were not done yet.
Nope.
We were not done. So then we go back to where the bus dropped us off, and then we go down to the Sauk River.
Yeah.
And there are all these canoes that are waiting for
Mhm.
us, and individuals that will be guiding the canoes that will be on the back and will be doing all the rowing and everything. So
Yeah.
Everly, Michelle, and I jumped in a canoe and went down the Sauk River on
Mhm.
this incredible jungle cruise, if you will. And Everly had her binoculars out, and we
That's
were
right.
looking at snakes up in trees
Yeah.
and
Well,
monkeys.
what's so cool is these weren't so obvious.
And they
Not
were
everything
pointing
was
them out.
obvious. That again, these guides once again see things that you wouldn't see,
Right.
and they see them quickly. Although you spotted one of the snakes before anyone else
I'm
saw
just
it.
not a fan. So I was keeping my eye
Well,
out.
the funny thing is you saw it and he was like, yes. And then he put us right underneath it. So it like was dangling above our heads. And I'm like, maybe we don't want to point these out anymore. But the guides would see it from quite a distance. And then they would call, all the boats over, and we would get to see whatever creature, mostly snakes, but other creatures as well.
Yeah, and Bean was terrific. Again, she was kind of, again, spearheading this whole thing and wanted to make sure everyone got to see as much as they possibly could. But then there was this piece to it, the limestone cliffs and the trees and the birds. And there were moments of just silence. And we're just sitting there listening to nature. And it was just taking it all in. It really was a great experience.
It's again those moments where you're like, what, the world
What
is
are we doing? I
spinning and the
know.
world is happening and there's just so much happening. And also this is always happening.
Yeah.
Like this piece, this present nature moment is existing at the same time as these chaotic moments elsewhere. It's a really beautiful time to take a pause and realize that also is accessible, even maybe if you're not staring at it. Like you can just kind of take a minute.
And certainly one of those pinch me moments. I mean, the whole day was a pinch me moment, being part of the elephants and being part of that experience and the way it was done.
Yeah.
And then going on this, canoe trip down the Sauk River was awesome. And we've said before in previous podcasts about finding those moments, those that, create that, extra fulfillment when it comes to your family and experiences and things that you can always draw on, going through this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
We get to re-experience it.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging us.
But when things, whatever happens in your day, you draw on these experiences that take you back to just a wonderful, simpler time, experience.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. And so we got to do that whole experience. Then we came back to the resort.
But I did take a lovely shower, a very warm,
we
wonderful
took
shower.
lovely
so
showers.
it
We
was
got
good.
dressed, and then we were treated to a wonderful meal, authentic dance routine by
Yes.
some kids,
Yeah, local.
local
Mhm.
school, I
Mhm.
believe,
It
that
was a school.
came and treated us to a wonderful dance. And then there was a cooking demonstration as well. It's a little bit
Right.
of everything going on. And there's
Yep.
also was another documentary playing
Yep.
as we walked in. So certainly something for everybody in this experience.
And incredible food. Like, they do a wonderful job, authentic, wonderful Thai
Buffet
food, and
style.
just,
Yeah.
anything that you could want. Yeah, they do a really beautiful job. And then, yes, you found that, had entertainment and just kind of got a taste of the life. And then you needed to go to bed because it was
Yes,
a
because we
long
signed
day.
up. So we only stayed one night and purposely. So we and there's different activities. So please go. We will have all this in a downloadable PDF that Michelle put together. But Elephant Hills has many other things to offer. But we chose this elephant experience, which was combined with the canoe trip down the Sauk River. The next day, though, as Michelle mentioned, we chose to do a jungle trek.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Didn't we also have to get in a boat to go on that?
Yes.
I just remember,
So
I'm
we
like,
picked
wait
out
a
our walking
second.
sticks.
We got a walking stick.
And then we went right across the
And then
river.
we had to go
So
across
just
the river.
real quick.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Not
quick.
like the other time, but we didn't
Yeah.
realize we were, because
Yep.
you have to go quick and you have to get out of the boat quick. I remember that being like a different experience.
Oh, before we move on to this. So after our experience on day one, Beam, our
Yeah.
tour guide, she talked with us in an interview.
Yeah.
She was terrific. Had only been there a couple months and went to university, and then she had to be trained there for 4 months. So it was really cool to hear her story. So the next day, it was Mona, who was our tour guide,
Yeah,
who was
so
equally
great.
as awesome.
Yes.
And
all
she did an
English
interview with
speaking
us.
guides there, by the way.
Yes.
This is another thing to look for at different places if
Yep.
you would prefer that. So they did an excellent job of having different languages, but English speaking guides for us.
Yeah. So as Michelle mentioned, we got in a canoe, went right across the river, and we started on this jungle trek that Mona took us through. And there's probably 15, 20 people.
I was trying to remember. I know there was another family of 4 in front of us. They were wearing some university shirts, so we realized they were American. So we ended up talking with them. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like that many people. But
No, it didn't. But Mona did a great job. And so it was about an hour hike, I believe, 45 minutes to an hour before we got to our stopping place. But she would stop periodically and point things out. And fortunately, she pointed out a giant spider that was probably $2 silver big. And she put a leaf behind it so we could see it. She spotted it again just
the
seeing
guys,
these things. Rubber trees, giant
We got to
bamboo.
get inside of the tree, right?
Yeah.
We got inside of a big rubber tree. I don't know. There was
And wild elephant footprints.
Yes. Now that was a different story. Yeah.
She told a story how some people had gone down this path before, saw them, and turned around.
Is this the same as the white?
Yes.
Is this the white elephant? Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, not as friendly. It was just wild elephant.
Yes.
But yeah.
But they watch out for
just to be on the lookout.
Right. So while Mona is the guide, there are also like spotters that are with you as well, because you are out in the wilderness and out in the forest. And so they're kind of watching because, yes, this is a territory where there are other animals as well. So you feel safe.
Feel safe.
You feel safe.
And it's somewhat, for the most part, it's flat terrain, but you are going down
up
some
and down
inclines
a bit. Yeah.
and declines and what have you. So it was pretty cool though. You are in the jungle. I mean, it's the heart of the jungle. It's
really a walking stick.
It's really cool.
I just felt really cool because we had a walking stick.
So about halfway through, we stop and we go to this hut, and we are going to have an authentic Thai meal cooked over an open flame.
Over the pit.
Over the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was
unbelievable.
I knew we were going to have lunch. I didn't realize what it was going to entail.
Right. I think they're just going to have like another little buffet or something,
sure.
But they're still cooking it, making it. Humor ingrained in this as well, as they like explain how the ingredients were gathered and the history of how they all learned to cook from their grandmothers and their mothers, and in the kitchens and finding ingredients and what ingredients are important to them, and then just taking us through all the steps to prepare. Meanwhile, there's literally like chickens on the rotisserie over the open pit.
Yeah, and the staff had been there an hour and a half prior. Some of this
ready.
barbecued pork takes a little bit longer, and of course they had scrambled eggs with herbs. They had a coconut chicken, and they did this amazing coconut demonstration where they took the husks off the coconut, and it Mona told us all the different usage for the husks.
Yes, did you know?
Yeah,
a coconut husk.
Did you know
coconut shell can be used to repel mosquitoes? Do you know this? Fun fact.
Write it down.
So write that down. So you can have, like, after you crack open the coconut and have half of it, let it dry and put it around, and it's a mosquito repellent.
And you can also use it as a planter.
And they do a lot. So what we noticed, we didn't understand. I didn't know what was going on in the trees. Like on trees, they'll have half coconuts attached to it, and ferns and other plants growing out of the coconut on the tree. So it's a very cool,
Because it holds
like,
water
'cause
or
it holds
liquid.
water.
So there you go.
Coconut.
This whole demonstration, then they shredded the coconut and then they
Mhm.
cooked the chicken. And Mona was wonderful. Talked, as you were kind of mentioning, talked about the history, her grandma, how she used to make food, why food is so important in the Thai culture, and this wonderful meal. So, yeah, bamboo cooked rice. I just
All of
could
it.
kind of go
So
on
good.
and on, right? So it was a wonderful meal. We enjoyed that. Then we hiked
It's
back.
back. And then it was time to depart. Sadly, it was time to depart
Yeah, we had to depart that day.
that day.
Yeah.
So you already have your bags packed and they have them ready for you. And then they provide the transport to your next destination. So you let them know ahead of time. I think there's one of 3 or 4 places that you can go afterwards. So you can go back to Krabi, you can go back to Khao Sok, wherever it is that you're staying next. So you make that arrangement ahead of time and they take you to your next destination. So on we went.
And our next destination was
Ao Nang.
Ao Nang.
Ao Nang Beach. And
So we were, whenever we could stay at a place that had a water slide, we would.
oh, so I didn't know what you were going to say.
So it's called
As you
Centera.
already know. And this was a cold pool too. I think
It was
a cold pool
cold,
too.
but
the
it
water slide was fun.
didn't. Darn it, it didn't matter. We
No,
were
it doesn't
all
matter.
in. I think there were 2 different water slides, and so we found them very quickly. Cool resort on the beach, and this felt like a resort. I want to say, well, our first place in Kamala Beach actually had that feel to it, definitely.
Yeah.
But here, being able to walk down to the beach, there was a cool boardwalk along the beach, and they had performers, and they had food, and they had just a buzz, and the people
Yeah.
on the beach, and the sunsets were amazing. I mean, it was one of those things you just wanted to take it all in.
Yeah, and we'd heard different things about Ao Nang. Like
Mhm.
some people really like it. Again, each of these communities, areas has such a different feel. And so, we weren't entirely sure like how busy this would be, but we did enjoy it because exactly you could walk to so many restaurants on the sand, and there was like tire swing or a swing on the beach and massages. I think this was
Mm.
was this the first massage? I don't know.
First and
The first
only.
Thai
I
massage
screwed
that
that
I
up. I only had
know is,
one.
I mean, no one
What
believes
was
you.
I thinking?
They're like, anyway,
I don't want
no
to
one
talk
believes
about it.
you. I
No.
don't. You shouldn't. So massage areas where the bamboo's like laid out, and you can just be on the beach, hearing the waves in the sand, having your massage, and smoothie places and all the good stuff. So it was a very cool, very busy, popular. Like you need to be ready to encounter a lot of people, and if you want a spot on the beach, you got to get down there early. But we really enjoyed the whole area, and the resort Centera is part of a chain. So they have them all over Asia. And yeah, we were really pleased. It was good. They had
We were-
kids activities, so it was
They
it was
did.
a nice place to stay.
It was. And we also tried to stay at a place that included breakfast.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for us.
I want to add something here that is in every destination we haven't always necessarily talked about this unless we encountered something interesting, and that is paying for places. So we've had different experiences, different places of what credit cards were accepted, what weren't, and where you sometimes needed cash a little bit unexpectedly. So interestingly enough, I believe we booked this reservation and prepaid a portion of it, but we needed cash upon check-in. They wanted cash for a certain balance.
Wow, I do remember that now. And we sat there and we couldn't
And we
check
had
in.
some trouble
Mhm.
with our on and off. We had obviously let all of our financial institutions know that we were traveling, and they all know. But again, you're in a time change, and so it's not a time we can get a hold of anybody at our bank. And of course, sometimes they would think things were fraudulent and shut things down. I mean, it was a whole cycle of things that would work or not. But we needed to get cash, so I don't know. Somehow we used a different card. We ended up being able to do it, but only like a portion. And so we had to, communicate really well to say, like, here's who we are, here's what's, happening. And we've been traveling, and, we can pay a portion of this and we can pay the rest of it tomorrow when we can call our bank. but they were very kind. They worked with us, but it was like a very unusual because it's a chain. So I think what we weren't expecting is that at some of the boutique places or small resorts, like we understand we need to have cash with us, and
Sure.
that made a lot of sense. But this was like unusual, I recall.
But I will say this, and this is part of probably a bigger conversation down the road when we really dive into the finances of it all.
Yeah.
But what we've learned too about our bank is that there are certain areas that would be flagged as danger areas, different parts of Europe, different countries, whatever it is. And sometimes it would be happening in real time. So while it was approved and it was a go, sometimes it would change without us knowing. And then, not that this is what was
I was
happening
like,
this
yes,
time,
you're right. The whole
but
financial,
it just got, it was,
we'll put a pin in. I agree.
Yeah,
Yes,
for
we'll
sure.
put a pin in this because this actually is something that is very important for people to know, and the kind of credit cards you have, and if you want to work with point. I mean, this is a whole. You're right. This is a whole
Another
other
thing.
show. But I did want to just make note of that because then at some point we should have a really nice resource for everyone of like, what sort of things were acceptable in certain places. And you're right, there is a list, and this is not that situation. Thailand is all a go. Go, go, go. Your banks, it's okay. This had nothing to do with that.
Spend.
But anyway, we needed cash that we in this moment did not have.
So,
Oops.
yes. So good to know that. Definitely one of the hiccups that we, experienced
But
along
thank
the
you
way.
to the resort because they were very good to us and they trusted us.
Very
They
kind.
believed us.
Yes. I think they even let us check in.
Yeah, I think we had already
and helped
prepaid
us
for like
for
a night or
a night or
two or
two.
something, and we just had to pay cash for the balance of the nights, and we didn't have that in the moment. I don't know, whatever it was, but but we'll do a whole episode on kind of the financial side of things.
So, anyways, location. So we could walk on this boardwalk to different restaurants. They had, again, musical acts and live entertainment. There were these three wonderful young ladies. I think
Yeah.
they were sisters
And
that
we
were
tried to interview.
performing. I tried to give them my card, and
They were amazing.
they were great.
They
And
were full like a band, right?
Yeah,
Like
so
they
I
played the
DM'd them
instruments.
as I was trying along the way, and then once we ended up in Koh Lanta, I think a couple weeks later they got back
They
to
got
us.
back to us.
So
Yeah.
that was nice. But then we saw another gentleman along the way that was wonderful, and that's
Yes.
part of a story later that we'll see him another time at a night market. But along this way, Michelle, as she does such great research, that we were close to something called the Monkey Trail. And you and I, as we're kind of going through reliving this experience, I mentioned, oh yeah, we stayed at that resort by the Monkey Trail. She's like, are we going to talk about that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't as it wasn't this moment that stood out to me like I needed to bring it up, but you reminded me that's actually kind of a famous
yeah.
thing to do.
So if you go to this area, if you go to Ao Nang, you will certainly come across, comments and research and people saying about the Monkey Trail. So it's good to know. I personally would say you could skip it. In that it's quite the hike. It's like built on wooden steps. It's a bit rickety. And you go up on this cliff kind of, and then you come back down and you end
steep
up
too.
Yes, very steep. And you end up on like a private beach of a property that they let you come in, you sign in, they let you come onto that for a moment because they know you've just done the trail, and then you can go in the water down there. The beach down there is very nice, but the Monkey Trail, like it was, you're supposed to see monkeys, and we saw a couple when we first
The very
started.
beginning, yeah, the front end.
And then we didn't see any more monkeys, and the trail is just
It's very narrow too, so it was tough to navigate through. You had to move over to the side, let people by you, that type of thing. But I mean, it was beautiful. You're in the jungle. You're kind of in these.
We had Everly with us though, so it's like you're trying to navigate something that just didn't feel as structurally sound as other things, maybe. I don't know. And then we didn't even see any monkeys. I don't know. So we wanted to do it because I wanted to see what it was all about. But then, in hindsight, like I would just say you can skip the Monkey Trail.
Anyways, that was very close to our resort as well. So it was pretty cool that we were able to experience it and walk to it. But also we wanted to experience Riley Beach.
Yes. So we had heard a lot about Riley Beach. And so we wanted to go on a boat. But then we also had read and seen that there's rock climbing. So I'm like, yeah, we're all in. Let's do that.
One of those experiences I never saw it really coming. I didn't have that on my, it wasn't even in my radar to rock climb in Thailand. Like what?
Yes.
Well, yes, why not?
Not?
And oh, by the way, full disclosure, none of us have rock climbed outside of a rock climbing gym.
Inside studio. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So Michelle finds this place called Real Rocks in the Krabi province, and they again had a service that would pick us up at the hotel, take us back to their kind of headquarters, if
Mhm.
you will, fit us with all the gear, the helmets, the shoes, and the whole bit.
Yep.
They took us then down to the a dock, jumped on a longtail, and took
Yeah.
us over to Krabi. And there were probably maybe 10 people in our group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was
I mean, the whole experience is fun, like, because you go and then you get to go on a long tail and you go over to the other
well,
side. And we had heard so much about Raleigh at this point. And really what we've heard is that many years ago, it was like this pristine primary beach. And over time, it's really become quite touristy
touristy.
and a bit overrun. And so kind of have this like curiosity to see it also balanced with like, it's probably not as magical as it used to be, whatever that means for someone. So, we're a little bit like unsure. But then you come around and the way that it jets out. So there's like the rocks and the mountains, kind of mountains. No, they're not mountains.
Cliffs.
They're cliffs. My geography. The cliffs jet out and it's so stunning. Like they're so big. And then you can see these like white spots all over it.
Yeah, so
Oh,
here's
yeah.
where we're going with this. They're incredibly tall and they're beautiful, but then all of a sudden we realize those are the cliffs
Let's
we're going to be
climb them.
climbing.
Yes,
The
let's do it.
white spots are chalk from people climbing them. And so we're like, or at least I was, so what do we get ourselves into?
Like, it's so funny because I'm the one, like, I'm afraid of heights.
I know.
And this trip a lot was working that out a bit, but I was like, I'm so into this.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
I'm
great.
just
And because of
so
your
in.
enthusiasm, you kind of took all of us with you, which was great. And so we were all strapped in harnesses and whatever it is. And somehow I was the first one to go up. And we had this wonderful instructor. His name was Cha Cha Cha.
Cha cha cha.
He had
Oh,
the
he's so
best
good.
demeanor, personality, so positive. And Everly, he was wonderful with Everly. It was
Like, wonderful in a amazing way, but also in a like pushing her. Like, nope, you're not going to stop now. You've got
no,
this one
right.
more. And she listened to him. She
He
like
had that
respected.
perfect balance.
Yeah. He was pretty funny and silly to us, like encouraging us, but kind of making like a bit sarcastic. Like he was very good. But with her, it was like firm but gentle and like really instructing her.
Because she was apprehensive, and rightfully so. As we got there, by the way, so we're walking up with all of our equipment and everything, and you get to this area where you're going to rock climb, and there are other groups there.
Yeah, it's
So there's
busy.
a lot of people climbing and climbing way high, and there's different areas you can go and different heights based on, your experience. But it was a little intimidating, I'll be honest, once you get
Yeah.
there, not knowing what we're going to do. And, I went up for this, and they have it all planned kind of, to get you started, get you kind of warmed up. And then you went, and then Ev was unsure. And he's like, no, you can do this,
got
and you're
this.
going to do it.
Yep, you
And
got
it-
this. And she did, and it
and
was awesome.
she was like kicking all of our butts. I mean, she would go and just keep going. And then she'd get, in all of us at one point, we get a little tired and get to a point where maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way up, she would stop. And he's like, okay, take a rest, but you're going to keep going. And she would. And she got to the top, and it was awesome. It
Yeah.
was so great.
Totally. And then you trade off. Like there's different like ones that are easier, ones that are harder. And obviously they're gauging like, okay, where's this person at? Which one should we try next? And they trade off with the different other instructors and people that are out there. So they're pushing you. They're pushing you to do a next one. And then we did one that was a freestanding cliff kind of behind, or a rock formation that you had to go like under it to then go again, to
Oh,
go
yeah.
up. And just pushing your limits. Just pushing your limits.
Yeah.
And it was fabulous.
Yeah,
They're very, very
got
good
up,
at what
I
they
got
do.
up at the top of one, and it was towards the end. I was so gassed. I mean, trying to catch my breath. I was kind of lightheaded.
And Cha Cha Cha's like with me, and he's like, "You're a man. You're a man up there. You're a man." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my man up there."
and
He's
your man's
stuck.
not coming
I
down.
think he's stuck.
Your man's stuck.
Help my man.
Oh, it was just a moment where I had to take a breath, and I just collect myself, and everything was in my hands, and everything was
Totally.
hurting and
Yeah.
kind of cramping, and I didn't want to stop. I wanted to get to the top, so I had to take a moment, and I couldn't even talk to him. He was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And it's like, "You can come down." I'm like, "No."
No.
And so
He'd let you up though, but not Everly.
no,
That's
I know,
funny.
right? So, anyways, it was one of my last climbs, but it was incredibly satisfying. Not that we were looking for team building for our family, but certainly it was it was cool for all of us to do together. And looking back on the video, again, being able to film this and have it recorded for nothing else more than for us to look back on it. I mean, proud of you, proud of Ev. It was really cool to watch you guys do this. And again, the whole trip is about getting out of your comfort zone,
Yep.
right? So if we could parallel a moment, this was certainly one of those where it's like, get out of your comfort zone, do something completely different and expand your horizons. And that's exactly what we did. We were rock climbing on limestone cliffs in Thailand. What in the world, right?
Lucky us. I want to say one other quick thing to just put it to
Mhm.
complement that and agree 100%. Like absolutely. One thing I will say is that Cha 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 was also good about saying, you get to this certain point and then he's going to help you like rappel down and however high you're going. And he's like, look around.
Yeah.
Like the sport is to climb the cliff. Yes. But when you stop and look around up where you are, like it's so beautiful and the ocean and you've climbed this certain spot. And it's again, to your point of like paralleling and being a bit reflective of like, look where you just came from and look where you are and look around and enjoy this moment of your accomplishment and the beauty that's around it. And then come down and go do it again. But yeah, it was more than just like, hey, let's go for an adventure and go rock climbing. There was a lot more to it.
Yeah. So we got done and he's like, want to do another one? We're like, no, we're good. I think we got to a point where we're like all tired.
I mean, we did a lot.
We did a
Not
lot.
like, not like
we
do
had
a
maybe
second one,
time
do
for one more if we wanted, before we went back.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if not,
If
I would
not-
highly recommend that you go to Pranang Beach.
Yeah, he's like, take your daughter through this trail and go to the beach on the other side and just go look and come back. But hurry back because the boat's going to leave.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, I don't know where
So
we're going.
Pranang, I think, is a better pronunciation of it. So we went around and found this cove. And it's incredibly beautiful, small, but as Michelle alluded to earlier, it really turned in very touristy. And there were incredible lime cliffs there that people were rock climbing as well. And then there were Asian water monitors. And I bring this up because they're giant lizards.
Huge.
They're black giant lizards walking on the
the beach,
sand
yeah.
that can be up to 10 feet long. And they just kind of cruising.
Yeah, they just cruise around.
Cruising through. People
Yeah.
just stand back, taking pictures of them, and they're doing their own thing. So,
Yeah, they're very cool.
and we're like, we need to come back here.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So we would.
Yes,
And
we
we
would.
did.
So we snuck a peek and then we hurried back because we didn't want to get left behind.
Right.
But it was a nice preview.
Yes. So we did come back another time, spend the afternoon.
Yeah.
And took a boat over, and from where we're at in Ao Nang, it only took 15, 20 minutes to get
it's a
there.
short,
It was a short boat
long
ride
tail.
over. So we went and we got a snack, and we went to the What?
Wait, isn't that on the one that on the way back the boat?
on the way back. It broke. It was our boat that broke.
Yeah, our boat broke, right?
Yeah.
Wait for this.
Teaser.
I'm like, wait a second, isn't this when the boat died?
Oh yeah, the boat died on the way back. So we get there, and you can kind of grab a snack, whatever it is, and walk through this little town area and walk towards this cove again, Pranang. And so we got back there, found a spot on the beach. Ev and I had our goggles, and we're in the water, and the water's beautiful, and tons of people. Right?
Yeah, we all snorkeled a little.
We
but
snorkeled,
like,
but you can't find. I mean, barely to find just a spot to sit. It
Yeah.
just crowded.
yeah, it was busy.
Really crowded.
People are like playing their music. It's a little clubby. It's kind of like
So
a scene.
yes,
It's a
it is.
scene.
It is a scene. So Ev, for whatever reason, had the video camera that we had, and was filming at the perfect time when this macaque monkeys,
Oh, I felt you were in the water. I was like, what'd she film in
No.
the water? She did
And
film in the water. Oh,
we're
Yeah,
we're walking up to where Michelle's sitting on this towel, and we see a monkey maybe 10 yards away, kind of on a log, and he's staring over at Michelle, and we're like, oh, it's cute. And then all of a sudden, this monkey walks over, walks, picks up the bag of chips,
Everly had a bag of chips.
turns around and takes
Up
off and
straight up to
goes
the tree.
up to a tree and starts
above
munching on the
me,
chips
and,
and
munching,
dropping.
and they're falling on me, and I'm like, "What is even happening?"
It was
to still our
awesome.
chips, which we'd heard and we've mentioned before that like the monkeys are, they'll take what they can get. But yeah, she filmed it. I just by chance, and it's so hilarious. But the water there was like very clear, and the cove was cool, and you could swim along the cove. There's also like a acknowledgement.
Called the Princess Cave.
Thank you, Princess Cave.
Princess Cave
Like
is
an
about a
offering?
mythical sea princess. She was a wife of a local fisherman, was lost at sea, but in her grief, she waited in this cave for her fisherman husband to come back. And today, fishermen and locals, they offer symbols and offerings in exchange for good fortune and bountiful fishing.
Which I thank you. That's a beautiful story and it's very beautiful. But if you go with your small children, the symbolism.
They're fertility symbols, if you will, and you
Yes.
can read into that.
So just,
Just know.
And we kind of cruised by. We looked, and there's candles in there also, and some beautiful etchings. It's very pretty. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's so pretty," and I'm like, "Yeah, just keep going. Just
What
keep
does that
going.
mean?
What is that? What is that? Just keep going."
Explain
And then we
later.
went in the water, and yeah, it was. You could see some fish. The snorkeling there was nice. It was just like
Just so many people in the water.
and on the beach and stuff. It's very crowded.
Yeah.
It's very crowded. So just know it'll be busy when you go.
Absolutely. And so we want to end this podcast by talking about another wonderful night market.
Mhm.
This one is called the Ao Nang Landmark Night Market.
Yeah, this was different. This one had a different feel than the other
Most
one.
popular night market in the area, over 100 vendors.
And a huge stage.
Huge
a big production stage.
big tent with tables.
And like a kid zone. There were like
There was a
inflatables
fire
and
show as
bouncy-
well during
Fire show.
Yeah, there was a fire show prior to the music and entertainment.
And
Everly
the
saw one of the
princess.
dancers.
Yes.
And got a picture with her.
Yep. And then the artist.
To wrap it all up, the musician.
Yeah,
So we
musician
saw
that
this
we had
gentleman
seen.
on the Ao Nang beach. We introduced ourselves. I was trying to do an interview. Shocking. We were trying to set it up, and it just wasn't happening. And all of a sudden, he's on stage performing with his band. They were fantastic.
They were really good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, just wonderful. And we discovered.
What did we have here? We had the ice.
We discovered Thai rolled ice cream.
Oh yeah, they had the ice cream here.
Okay, so it's kind of.
This is a show in and of itself. This
You have to
making of
see the
this treat.
video because it's hard to explain. It's called a stir fry technique, and it's
But they're
kind
not
of
stir
two
frying. I don't know why it's
spatulas
called that.
in rhythm.
Like the fastest motion though.
Yeah, it's almost like it's an ice cream crepe, and they just freeze it. They smear it out on this really cold platform, and then they roll it with these spatulas.
Like people are probably picturing Cold Stone right now when we're talking
Yeah.
about this, and like but to another degree.
No, they're circular. They're like cones. It was amazing to watch. I
But
mean,
like
people,
Cold Stone, they mix your
Uh-huh.
toppings into it, and then they put
Yeah.
it's like that, but like
yeah,
times 10.
yeah, it was
So good,
awesome.
so good, delicious, very cool.
Another thing I want to bring up too is that from our hotel in Ao Nang, there were these trucks that would drive through,
Oh.
right? These flatbed pickup trucks, and they would have two boxers in the back, and
Like literally boxers standing.
literally
in the back of the
boxers,
truck.
and there was the old school horns on the top of like from Blues Brothers or whatever. I don't know if you can remember that. I
It's
know what
so
that analogy
loud.
is, but
Not
they
that
were.
one, but I know.
But
it's
they
super
were
fun.
certainly promoting the Muay Thai boxing, and
Yeah.
so at this particular market, landmark night market, they had a giant theater
Big arena,
arena for Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, so that was happening as well. I mean, everything was happening.
Everything was happening. We did not go to Muay Thai, but we did have some friends that went, and it's really fun. I think it's a good show, and it's an actual ranking and championship. Like I think that right. I mean,
Oh.
they're moving up, and because then the truck would come again the next day, and it'd be two different boxers that were. I don't know. I don't understand how the competition
And
works.
as
but
you're driving down the street, you do see these outdoor gyms where
lot of them,
people
yeah.
are actually practicing
Yeah.
for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And probably a lot of people too are the tourists that get to come and could try it out
Mhm.
and what have you. But then a lot of people are doing it. That is their profession.
yeah, it's a
and they are
profession.
gonna
Yeah,
they're gonna be competing. So, so that was cool.
so that's Ao Nang.
That is Ao Nang, and that is part 2.
That's part 2. Once again, we have a guide. So Frenchitivity.com/Thailand-2. And after we do all 3, we'll have just all 3 guides in one spot. But just right now, in case you want the guide from the first time, it's just /Thailand. And now it's Thailand-2.
And don't forget, you can catch us, our wonderful faces as we go through this experience together, all of our expressions and whatever it may be as we relive this journey through Thailand. You can see us on the Frenchitivity YouTube channel, also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. And next up, part 3, the third and final part of our journey will be to Koh Lanta. says Michelle has her hand over her heart. Yeah, that was a very special place, and a lot of things changed there, and we will tell you about that. A little bit of a tease in a good way.
Yep. Stay tuned.
So that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Frenchitivity podcast. We appreciate you guys, all your support. Please subscribe as well on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'd love a review. Love to hear from you. And if you have any questions or anything, we'd love to answer those as well. We want to be as involved with you as possible to get to know all of you out there and what you're thinking as well. So thanks for following along on this journey with us, and we can't wait to see you next time right here on the Frenchitivity podcast.
Frenchitivity, Frenchitivity.